Hello, my name is Kevin Kinder, and today I will be talking to the class about my trend review number 1 that I decided to do on movies of the week. The first movie that I would like to talk about is Anchorman 2, starring Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd, and Steve Carell. This is the second installment to Anchorman that first debuted in 2004. It made an astounding $28 million in its opening weekend and got over $85 million total. After 10 years, the director, who is Adam McKay, is back again trying to make another successful installment and make it, if you will, as equally funny, if not a little bit more. A CNN article that I read talks about how the movie was good, but not necessarily as funny as the original, which is often something that moviegoers see when a funny movie first comes out. The first one is usually better than the second one. It's kind of difficult to try and outdo the first one because it was so good, and that's why people initially go see the second one in the first place. So rather than take place in the 1970s, this new Anchorman 2 takes place in the 1980s and kind of follows the news team's adventures through that. With roughly 3,000 reviews on Fandango, a majority of the fans are saying go, which is great because also the critics are saying go as well, which is rare because critics are usually a little bit more harder on movies, especially the ones that are supposed to be funny. So, I have provided the video for Anchorman 2. This is the official trailer and the movie just came out this past Wednesday.
In the 70s, they were an elite unit, with names like Brick, Champ, Brian, and Ron. They rose like the phoenix, and then they were gone. Their legend became but a whisper, told by the trees, until now.
We're starting a 24-hour news channel, and we want you.
I'm gonna do the thing that God put Ron Burgundy on this earth to do. Have salon-quality hair and read the news.
This is feels right. The news team is back.
Welcome to the 80s, baby.
Is that your foot between my legs?
No.
Where's my hand?
Your hair looks like wet popcorn.
I like the parts of your face that are covered with skin.
That's Jack Lime. Look at him. He's a prince.
He's not that great.
What'd you say? He said you're not that great.
I don't read Jet Magazine or Jerry Curl Daily. I'm breaking down the barriers of race by assimilation. And on that note, which one of you convicts with the longest record can pass me the mashed potatoes? Am I right?
So once again, you can see it's going to be Ron Burgundy pushing the limits in this movie. As we move on to the second movie that we are going to be talking about this week, it is The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Now, I have not seen this one nor the first one of The Hobbit that came out, but I am a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings series. I did go ahead and go see all 3 of those movies when they did come out in the early 2000s. And they were very good, and I've heard mixed reviews on these 2 new installments to the series. Where there's life, there's hope. This is a popular quote that came from the first Hobbit. The first film was a huge success, bringing in an astounding $300 million. And the second hasn't been really much different, resulting in over $73 million in the first week alone. Despite both movies kind of getting rave reviews by the critics, some fans sort of disagree with the director's decision to kind of alter the storyline a bit compared to those who follow the book a little bit more. This could certainly be a result of extremely complicated background stories, but Maybe not, just because the dialogue also gets a makeover in this movie as well. Many wonder if J.R.R. Tolkien, what would he think of all of this? But kind of my frame of thought about it is, if the studio's making money, then that's really all that they care about. So I was able to pull down some Twitter reactions, people who saw the first Hobbit movie. As you can see in the top left, a lot of people were excited about it and got what they expected. The kid Luke says that Hobbit was brilliant, especially the 48 FPS, which is frames per second. Can't believe the amount of detail you could see. The person next to him says that they saw the Hobbit, it was absolutely brilliant, shouldn't have doubted it. They also say that the 3D usage was extremely well. John says that you'll almost go to see the Hobbit 3D. But then we see in the bottom right hand corner that people weren't as impressed with it also. So one person says that the Hobbit was a big mistake, the 48 frames per second, which is interesting compared to the other person who said that it looked extremely good. The other person said that 3D was meh compared to the person prior who thought that the 3D was extraordinary. Lastly, the person in the bottom right says that they hate this, but The Hobbit is an awful movie, which maybe because that person was following the book a little bit more, maybe they just were disturbed or turned off by how they portrayed it in the movies. So, as we move on to our third and final movie, it is going to be The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Now, this is the second installment of what's 3 books out there. This movie began on November 22nd in theaters. Every revolution begins with a spark. This is kind of the slogan that they're using for this second movie. The sequel has been heating up since it opened in theaters on November 22nd. So far, it's made about $357.5 million, which is incredible, and it looks to be on pace to beat their first film that earned over $408 million, which came out a couple years ago. All of these films are based off the series of books, which on USA Today's bestsellers the first one went for 132 straight weeks, and the second for 131 straight weeks. Unlike Harry Potter, which is sort of aimed at the younger demographic, The Hunger Games' target audience is young adults. The popularity for the book began when Suzanne Collins approached Scholastic with a 4-page proposal, and which ironically has now ended up being a big hit on the big screen. So the third installment will be broken up into 2 parts. There will be part 1, which will be in theaters during 2014, and part 2, which will take place in 2015. So I have provided another trailer for The Hunger Games: Catching Fire, which is in theaters now.
You understand that whatever I do comes back to you, Mom. I don't want you to get hurt.
Since the last games, something's different. I can see it.
What can you see?
Hope.
You saved us. I know that. But I can't go on acting for the cameras and then just ignoring each other in real life.
She's not really I think she is. And she has to be eliminated.
I agree, but in the right way, at the right time.
We have to go before they kill us. They will kill us.
People want to fight.
I'm staying here.
They fought very hard in the games, yes, every day. But they were games. Would you like to be in a real war? Imagine thousands of your people dead. Your loved ones gone.
What do I need to do?
This is the 75th year of the Hunger Games. The tributes are to be reaped from the existing pool of victories.
I get to say goodbye.
So what do we do? I think these games are gonna be different.
Wow, so that movie definitely looks adventurous. I'm definitely going to have to check it out. And lastly, here's my reference page. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.